this video, we will discuss the setup and operation of the averaging, sometimes called animal weighing, Midrics application. It is possible to calculate a stable weight from erratic values caused by a moving or vibrating sample. There are a number of menu selections to refine weight results depending on the level of movement, and at the same time ignore results that are outside these predefined levels or below a minimum weight threshold. 4 menu settings are required to achieve accurate results. First, we need to enable the averaging program. This is accomplished in the normal menu selection mode. We need to make a decision to start the averaging manually with the OK key or automatically when a sample is loaded to the platform. If we do start automatically, it will be necessary to set a minimum weight threshold before the averaging program starts. This can be as little as 1 digit on the display, which would cause an immediate start, or up to 1,000 digits, which would restrict the start to a much higher weight value. Finally, we need to define acceptable vibration levels. It is important that excessive vibrations outside of the normal range are ignored in the final result. The range is input as a percentage of sample weight. If the sample, for example, weighs 1,000 grams and the range is set to 5%, any 3 consecutive weights that are not within 5%, or in this case 50 grams of each other, will disable the averaging function or halt the averaging function if already in progress. Now we can go through the actual setup procedure. First, we need to enable the weight averaging mode. And we do this in the normal fashion by turning the scale on first, then off, back on, press the tare key. APPL is displayed, and we scroll until we see the mouse icon appear on the display, pressing tare again to confirm that selection. Now we're going to set up the Enable Auto Start, which is option 3.18.2. Once achieved, press tare. Auto Start is now set. Set the minimum weight that will begin the Auto Start averaging. That'll be selection 3.6.8. And in this case, that will set the minimum number of digits to 200 to enable the start of the averaging program. Once 3.6.8 is displayed, again press tare. Finally, we'll set the vibration severity before averaging can start. In this case, we will use option 3.19.6, meaning that all weights must be within 5% of one another, otherwise they will not be averaged in the final result. Hold the tare to exit to the weighing mode, and once stable, press the 0. Now we can begin the actual weighing operation. First step is to place a sample on the scale that is not in motion. In this case, we've decided to use a vibrating toy for a child. In its static mode, we'll place it on the scale. Once we do so, and the weight stabilizes, enter in the number of times we'd like to have it averaged. In this case, it will be 50. Press the reference key. Remove the sample, the scale will return to 0, and start the vibration. At this point, the sample will bounce around and vibrate, and you will see the display moving as well. But you'll notice that it is stabilized on 466.0, and that result is locked in. To change to a live mode, press the toggle key. As you can see, we have the same result, whether it's averaged or whether it's live. Now, it's always a good idea to weigh the sample at least a couple of times to be sure that you get repeatable results. So once again, we will put a vibrating sample on the scale. You'll see the display bounce and move. And again, it is stabilized once the counter goes down to 0. In this case, whether it's a live result of a static sample or an average result of a vibrating sample, the result is exactly the same. So it certainly would appear that we have set everything properly and we're ready to continue with the remainder of our items. This video regarding weight averaging operation is now concluded.